Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube class. Today our topic is the condition for a second degree cone, the condition for a second degree equation to represent a cone. Actually this is my sixth video in the topic cone. In my previous videos I have given definition of a cone and components of a cone, and also I have explained how to find the equation of a cone whenever you are given the vertex and base curve of a cone. And also I have solved a lot of problems in my previous videos. Also in my previous video I have explained that a homogeneous equation in variables x, y, z represents a cone with vertex at origin. Whenever a non-homogeneous equation in variables x, y, z represents a cone with vertex other than origin. So this is not always happens. Actually every non-homogeneous equation in x, y, z need not represent a cone. There is a condition for that. In this video I am going to derive what is the condition to be satisfied for a second degree non-homogeneous equation to represent a cone. Also doing that, I am also going to solve some problems in this video. Okay, let us go to the see this. The condition, the topic is the condition for a second degree equation to represent a cone. So before going to that, I am going to give some preliminaries regarding cone. What is cone? What is cone? Cone is a surface. Actually cone is a surface. It is generated by a straight line. So that by a straight line which is passing through a fixed point and intersecting a curve or touch a surface. So how can a cone is generated? So a cone is a surface which is generated by a straight line which is passing through a fixed point and intersecting a curve, or which is passing through a fixed point or touching a surface. So there are two ways a cone is formed. So in first case, this is a surface and this is the fixed point. You can draw straight lines from this fixed point so that they are touching the surface. So we can draw many such lines. For example, around this sphere we can draw a lot of such lines. All these lines forms a curved surface like this. This is a cone. This is a cone, and such lines are called generators, and the fixed point is called vertex of the cone. This is one case. In another case, we take a curve. This is a curve, and here also alpha, beta, gamma is a fixed point. We can draw straight lines passing through alpha, beta, gamma, and that means passing through the fixed point and intersecting the curve. So all these are straight lines passing through the fixed point and intersecting the curve. All these straight lines also generate a curved surface which is called a cone. So for this cone, each straight line is a generator and the fixed point is the vertex and the curve is called the base curve. Once again I am repeating, this fixed point is the vertex and the curve is the base curve, and the straight line which is generating the cone is called generator. How many generators a cone have? Yes, a cone have infinitely many generators. It's not unique. A cone have infinitely many generators. So what is a quadratic cone? Quadratic cone means a second degree homogeneous equation ax square plus by square plus cz square plus 2fyz plus 2g zx plus 2h xy plus 2ux plus 2vy plus 2w z plus d is equal to 0. This is second degree non-homogeneous equation. Actually, this equation with some conditions, this equation represents a cone whose vertex is not at origin. If you remove the first degree terms in this equation, then this is the homogeneous equation of second degree. In this case, this equation represents a cone whose vertex is origin. So, in this video, I am going to derive a condition so that the second degree equation represents a cone. So, suppose that the second degree non-homogeneous equation is denoted by f of x comma y comma z, that is ax square plus by square plus cz square plus 2 fyz plus 2gzx plus 2hxy plus 2ux plus 2vy plus 2wz plus d is equal to 0. This represents a cone. If this represents a cone, this is the condition. Then the coordinates of the vertex satisfy the equations fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, fz is equal to ft is equal to 0, where t is a variable used to make f is homogeneous. So, by this statement, what can we understand? So, f is a second degree non-homogeneous equation. This equation represents a cone if this condition is satisfied. What is the condition? Fx is equal to 0. Fx means nothing but dou f by dou x. In the similar way, fy means dou f by dou y, fz is equal to dou f by dou z, ft is equal to dou f by dou t. So, this is the condition required. What is that? Fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, fz is equal to 0, ft is equal to 0, where t is a variable used to make f homogeneous. Before doing that, finally, by taking t is equal to 1. So, we prove this. Suppose f is equal to a non-homogeneous equation of second degree in variables x, y, z. So, this is f of x comma y comma z comma t. What is t here? T is a new variable which is used to make or which is used to convert f of x, y, z into homogeneous equation. So, how did we do that? See this. Actually, f of x, y, z is a non-homogeneous equation. So, we use t to convert this equation into homogeneous equation so that. So, all these second degree equations are, there is no change in all the second degree equations. Since 2ux plus 2vy plus 2wz is first degree equation, take t in all these terms, and d is a constant whose degree is 0. Therefore, take t square here to make it second degree term. So that you can see, by taking like this, you can see in f of x, y, z t, all these are second degree terms, and this is also second degree term because there is x and there is t. X power 1, t power 1, the degree is 1 plus 1, 2. So, this is also second degree equation, second degree term, and this is also second degree term. Also, dt square is also second degree term. Whenever t is treated as variable, the power is 2. Therefore, dt square is also second degree term. So, all the terms in f of x, y, z t are second degree terms, and hence it is a homogeneous equation of second degree. Here t is the new variable. So, now fx is equal to, fx is nothing but what? Fx dou f by dou x. Dou f by dou x means derivate this function with respect to x partially. So, whenever we are derivating with respect to x partially, obviously other variables other than t, other variables other than x will be treated as constants. So, by taking this, derivative of ax square is equal to 2ax, all these are constants and hence their derivative is 0, and here also this is also a constant, here x in this term, therefore 2gz into x derivative of x is 1, and 2hy plus 2hy, 2hyx plus 2hy. So 2ut derivative of x is 1, therefore you can get 2ut, and all these terms are constants because we are differentiating with respect to x partially. Therefore the derivative of all this part is 0. So you will get this. Similarly, you can see by derivating with respect to y, all variables other than y, that are x, z and t, are constants. Therefore 2by square, derivative of by square is equal to 2by, and derivative of this term and this term is 0, and derivative of 2fyz, because we are differentiating with respect to y partially, therefore 2fz, and derivative of y is 1. So derivative of this term is 0, and derivative of this term is 2hx, and derivative of this term is 0, and derivative of this term is 2vt, because derivative of y is 1. So all these terms are constant with respect to y. Therefore derivative of these terms is 0. You will get like this. So similarly, by doing partial derivation with respect to z, we will get fz like this, and ft is also we will get like this, because whenever to do partial derivation with respect to t, whenever we are doing differentiating partially with respect to t, x, y, z are treated as constants. Therefore all these terms will become, derivative of all these terms will become 0, and you will get from these terms, so that 2ux plus 2vy plus 2wz plus dt square, derivative of t square is 2t, therefore you will get 2dt is equal to 0. So by taking 2 common, 2dt is equal to 0. So this is f of t. Here dt means not derivative with respect to t. Here dt means 2 into d into t. Don't confuse with that. Don't misunderstand this. Here dt means d into t. So by keeping t is equal to 1, by taking t is equal to 1, and making all these partial derivatives equal to 0, you will get like this. By putting t is equal to 1 and equating all these partial derivatives to 0, you will get these 4 equations. So the equation given in the problem, f of x, y, z is equal to 0, will represent a cone if the above 4 equations are consistent. Consistent means the equations are consistent if they have a solution. So the condition for consistency of these 4 equations is, determinant of the coefficients of the 4 equations will become 0, and also determinant of AHG, HBF, GFC is equal to 0. These are the conditions so that the equations these 4 equations are consistent. So also there is another way to prove that these equations are consistent. To do that, first we take these 3 equations, first 3 equations we will take and solve these 3 equations for x, y, z. Then finally substitute the values of x, y, z in the 4th equation. If the 4th equation is satisfied by the values of x, y, z given by the first 3 equations, then what does it mean? It means all the 4 equations are satisfied these values. Therefore all these 4 equations have a unique solution, and that means all these equations are consistent. That means the system of these equations is consistent, and the solution given by these equations x, y, z will give the vertex of the cone. The values x, y, z which we obtain from these 4 equations will be the vertex of the cone. In this case, the second degree equation represents a cone, and also the values of x, y, z gives the vertex. So this is the condition. What is the condition? The condition for a second degree non-homogeneous equation to represent a cone is that fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, fz is equal to 0, ft is equal to 0, where t is a variable to make f homogeneous and taken equal to 1 after this. This is the condition. So by applying this condition, we solve some problems. So this is first problem we are going to solve in this video. So what is the statement of the problem? Show that the equation 4x square minus y square plus 2z square plus 2xy minus 3yz plus 12x minus 11y plus 6z plus 4 is equal to 0 represents a cone with vertex minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So what we have to do in this problem is, we are given a non-homogeneous equation. We have to prove that this non-homogeneous equation represents a cone, and also we have to find the vertex, and also we have to prove that the vertex is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So by applying the condition what we have derived previously, so first what we have to do, we have to make this equation, we have to convert this equation into homogeneous equation with the help of t. So given non-homogeneous equation is this. So making it homogeneous with the help of t, you can write like this. How can you write? Because for all these terms up to this term are of second degree, we can write all these terms as usual. And these three terms are degree of these three terms is 1. Therefore to convert those terms into second degree terms, just take t like this. And this is a constant and hence its degree is 0. To make it a second degree term, take t square. What is t here? Here t is a new variable which is using to convert this entire equation into homogeneous, and finally we take t is equal to 1. So here what is fx? Fx is partial derivative of f with respect to x, and then fx is obtained by differentiating this equation with respect to x partially. Then you will get like this: 4x square, derivative of 4x square is 8x, and all these terms, derivative of all these terms is 0. Derivative of 2xy is equal to 2y, and derivative of 12xt is 12t, because derivative of x is 1. Therefore you will get like this. In the similar way, proceeding like this, differentiating partially with respect to y, you will get this, and differentiating this equation partially with respect to z, you will get this, and differentiating partially with respect to t, all these terms are independent of t, therefore derivative of all these terms is 0 whenever differentiating with respect to t partially, and you will get only 12x minus 11y plus 6z, and derivative of 4t square is 8t, like this. Therefore you will get these four terms: fx, fy, fz, ft. So by keeping t is equal to 1 and equating all these partial derivatives to 0, we will get four equations like this. For example, here we will get 8x plus 2y plus 12 is equal to 0. Here we get minus 2y plus 2x minus 3z minus 11 is equal to 0. And here we get 4z minus 3y plus 6 is equal to 0. And here we get 12x minus 11y plus 6z plus 8 is equal to 0. So by taking t is equal to 1 and equating all the above equations to 0, we will get these four equations. So to prove the given equation represents a cone, what we have to do? What we have to do to prove the given equation represents a cone? We have to prove that all these four equations are consistent. For that, what we have to do? What we do for that? We take first three equations and solve these three equations for x, y, z, and substitute the values of x, y, z obtained by solving these three equations. Substitutes these values in fourth equation. If the fourth equation is satisfied these values, then the four equations are consistent, and also these values gives the vertex of the cone. So to solve first three equations, so to solve first three equations, we take matrix form, and converting these three equations into matrix form, we will get like this. This is the matrix form. Actually Ax is equal to D. Here A is called coefficient matrix, X is called variable matrix, and D is called constant matrix. So converting these three equations into matrix form, you will get like this. Here 4, x coefficient is 4, y coefficient is 1, and z, there is no z term because z coefficient is 0 and hence z coefficient is 0, and constant is -6. Therefore you can write 4, 1, 0 here and -6 here. And similarly from this equations we can write coefficients here and the constants here. Therefore, so that these three equations can be converted into matrix form like this. So from this we can write augmented matrix. How can we write augmented matrix? Augmented matrix can be written just by attaching the constant matrix to this coefficient matrix. Therefore, by doing that, we can get this augmented matrix. So we now convert this augmented matrix into upper triangular matrix by using required row transformations. What is upper triangular matrix? Upper triangular matrix means all the elements below the principal diagonal will become 0. All the elements below the principal diagonal are 0, then the matrix is said to be upper triangular matrix. Also we can use the term echelon matrix for this. So we convert this matrix, augmented matrix, into upper triangular matrix or echelon matrix by applying required row transformations. So to make it 0, we apply this. So R2 is equal to 2R2 minus R1. So here 2R2 means actually what is 2R2? 2R2 is equal to, so we have to multiply this entire row with 2. 4 minus 4 minus 6, 22. And R1 means 4, 1, 0, minus 6. 2R2 R1 means you can change the sign, minus 4 minus 1 plus 6. By applying this, 4 minus 4 will become 0, and minus 4 minus 1 will become minus 5, minus 6, 28. Therefore R2 will be converted like this: 0, minus 5, minus 6, 28, like this, by applying this row operation. So and then what we have to do? So these two elements have become 0 and we have to convert this element into 0. For that we apply this operation. R3 implies 5R3 minus 3R2. Actually 5R3 implies what? Multiplying R3 with 5, you will get 0. See this, 5R3 implies you will get 0. Multiplying this row with 5, you will get 0, minus 15, 20, minus 30. 3R2 implies, so multiply this row with 3, you will get 0, minus 15, minus 18, 84. So 5R3 minus 3R2 means we have to subtract this, minus plus plus minus, you will get 0 here, and here also you will get 0, and here you will get 38, and here you will get minus 114, minus 114. Therefore finally you will get 0, 0, 38 minus 114 as row 3. Therefore this is, so we have converted the augmented matrix into echelon form like this. So we can rewrite the given equations using this echelon form. So that means 4, 1, 0, 0, minus 5, minus 6, 0, 0, 38 into x, y, z is equal to minus 6, 28 minus 114. So by applying the multiplication and equating to this constant matrix, we will get from this row we will get equation 0 into x 0, 0 into y 0, 38 into z is equal to 114. Therefore we will get 38 into z is equal to 114. So like that minus 114. So 38 into z is equal to minus 114, and hence z is equal to minus 3. Z is equal to minus 3. From second column, what we can get? From second column, from second row, we will get minus 5y minus 6z is equal to 28. By substituting the value of z is equal to minus 3, in this, finally, we will get y is equal to minus 2. And from first row, we will get 4x plus y. 4x plus y plus 0z means 0. You need not write. 4x plus y is equal to minus 6. Just take y is equal to minus 2 here. 4x minus 2 is equal to minus 6. Therefore 4x is equal to 2 minus 6 is minus 4. From this x is equal to minus 1. Therefore you will get these values. Z is equal to minus 3, y is equal to minus 2, x is equal to minus 1. So to prove the four equations are consistent, what we have to do? To prove these four equations are consistent, what we have to do? We solved these three equations. We got x is equal to minus 1, y is equal to minus 2, z is equal to minus 3. Substitute these three values in fourth equation. Then see what happens. Whether the fourth equation is satisfied these three values or not, we have to check. So substituting the values of x is equal to minus 1, y is equal to minus 2, z is equal to minus 3 in the equation 4, we will get, finally we will get 0 is equal to 0. So what does it mean? This means the fourth equation is satisfied, the values obtained by the first three equations, and hence we can say that the four equations are consistent. When the four equations are consistent, we can say that the given non-homogeneous equation represents a cone, and also we can say that the vertex of the cone is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Therefore, whenever you are asked to find whether the given non-homogeneous equation represents a cone or not, we have to convert the non-homogeneous equation into homogeneous with the help of t, and we have to take fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, fz is equal to 0, ft is equal to 0. That means dou f by dou x is equal to 0, dou f by dou y is equal to 0, dou f by dou z is equal to 0, dou f by dou t is equal to 0, at t is equal to 1. You will get four different equations. On solving, we have to prove that these four equations are consistent. To do this, what we follow? We take first three equations and solve them, and we got some values. We got solutions of first three equations, and substitute the solution of first three equations in fourth equation. If the fourth equation is satisfied the solution given by the first three equations, then we can say that the four equations are consistent. And also, and the four equations are consistent, then the equation given in the problem represents a cone with vertex, and the vertex is given by the values of x, y, z, what we obtained by solving the equations. So this is the procedure we have to follow. See another problem. Prove that the equation ax square plus by square plus cz square plus 2ux plus 2vy plus 2wz plus d is equal to 0 represents a cone if u square by a plus v square by b plus w square by c is equal to d. If this condition is satisfied, we have to show that this equation represents a cone. So actually given equation is a non-homogeneous, you can see here, this is a non-homogeneous equation. So what we have to do here, we have to convert this into homogeneous with the help of a new variable t. For that we will write like this. So the terms of second degree terms will remain same like this, and to convert these first degree terms into homogeneous we take t, and to convert constant terms into second degree we take t square. Therefore like this we convert this non-homogeneous equation into homogeneous equation. This is fx, y, z, t. So here we introduced a new variable t. With the variable t, all the terms are of degree 2. Therefore, this is a homogeneous equation of degree 2. And then find dou f by dou x, dou f by dou y, dou f by dou z, and dou f by dou t. So by derivating the equation, this equation partially with respect to x, we will get dou f by dou x is equal to ax plus 2ut. In the similar way, by taking partial derivatives, we will get like this: dou f by dou y is equal to 2by plus 2bt, dou f by dou z is equal to 2cz plus 2wt, dou f by dou t is equal to this. So by keeping the new variable t as 1, by taking t is equal to 1 and equating all these partial derivatives to 0, we will get 4 equations like this. At t is equal to 1, equating all these partial derivatives to 0, from the first equation what we will get? See this. From this equation, by taking t is equal to 1 and equating to 0, we will have 2ax plus 2u is equal to 0. By taking 2 common, we will have ax plus u is equal to 0, and hence x is equal to minus u by a. In the similar way, from this equation, we will have y is equal to minus v by b, and from this we have z is equal to minus w by c. So from the first 3 equations, we have x is equal to minus u by a, y is equal to minus v by b, z is equal to minus w by c. So we have to prove that the given equation represents a cone. For that, we have to prove that these 4 equations are consistent. These 4 equations are consistent. So first we solved these 3 equations. We have 3 values of x, y, z, and by substituting these 3 values of x, y, z in the 4th equation, we will get like this, and finally we will get like this. So whenever this condition is satisfied, obviously this will become 0. Obviously this will become 0, and that means the values obtained by first 3 equations also satisfies the 4th equation. That means the 4th equation is satisfied. The 4th equation is satisfied by the values obtained by the first 3 equations. Therefore, whenever this condition is satisfied, the equation given in the problem, this equation represents a cone. Hence, the problem is solved in this method. So, this equation represents a cone when this condition is satisfied. This is the procedure to solve this problem. So, this is the procedure you have to follow when you are asked to solve such type of problems. Thank you very much.